What's going on, my faithful Uchillas and my faithful members of the D Clan? I am back with another one, guys, with One Piece chapter 1156. Alrighty. Boys, it's a long ride, guys, but we are in it for the long haul, okay? Well, the chapter opens, we see the Kuja pirates or the Kaju pirates, and we see the beautiful Gloriosa. They're taking all the treasure, all the loot, all the booty from the Marines, and they're just awestruck with her beauty. Okay, now this is young Gloriosa in her prime. Okay, and she's looking mighty fine. Well, she even has her own pirates, of course. You know, the underlings under her. You know, Gloriosa off of her. You know, and then it then sees that they have a lot of fan member letters coming in. And this lady, I think her name is Tritoma. I don't know how you pronounce that right. And there's a lot of rumors going around saying that she could be the mother of Luffy. I'm like, there's no way that's possible because at this time in the storyline, Dragon is the child, or either a baby or a child at this time in the storyline. Okay, so there's no way she's way too old for Dragon at this time. You know, unless she could be a cougar. You never know. Well, the story continues. There's a lot of fan mails for Gloriosa, but then there's all the fan mails for the first mate, Shaki. Now, you know, I call her Shaki for sure. I think there's her nickname in the story, Shaki. Her name, you know, Shaku, Yaku, like that, but I call her Shaki. And then we said that, you know, there's also a lot of fan mails for Shaki. And Gloriosa, you know, she's kind of annoyed, you know, and that rivalry beauty thing, you know what I'm saying? But not in the way that she wants to hurt Shaq and like that. You know, it's just a that rivalry. You know what I'm saying? Then we get the announcement from the future Pirate King himself, Goldie Roger, telling the Kaju pirates to give up their first mate Shaki because he's in love with her. Well, it's a love triangle because Gloriosa is in love with Rogers and Roger is in love with Shaki. But Shaki secretly has the admiration and a love for Rayleigh. That's right, the Dark King himself. And you know, of course, in the future, for those of you who don't know, in the future they end up getting married anyway. So we see Shaki goes and then she knocks out Gabon. Boom! And so Roger grabbed his sword and like, Shaki, what did you do to Gabon? And next you know, bam! She knocks out and she gives Roger a titty on top of his eye, man. I mean, she puts a knot on him. And he's like, oh, I can't do nothing to hurt you, girl. I love you. And then she gonna flirtly tell him, I love you too, Roger. Yeah, right. Soon as she said that, she goes and she winks her eye over at Rayleigh. And Rayleigh like, yeah, really, she got her eyes on you, buddy. Watch out. So the story then continues. We hear from the Marines to go and don't let them escape. And so Roger then yells out, all right, man, let's set sail. And next you know, he hears Gop voice. He's like, wait a minute, that's Gop? All right, man, cancel that order. Let's crush him. So we see Roger, and Prime Garp go at it. And with Conqueror's Hockey, without them even touching each other, they're knocking each other out. Garp's fist is punching Roger, and Roger's sword, the energy from his sword, is hitting Garp. That was a beautiful picture. That was a beautiful panel right there. I really love that panel. Then the scene switches to Elbath. And Loki is up to his shenanigans again, and he falls inside the water. He couldn't swim, so other pirates jump in and they save him. And after they save him, of course, King Harold is there, and he's thanking the men for saving Loki. And they say, yeah, we saved him, but he's a disrespectful little brat, And so Ida say, hey, you guys, well, so what if he's disrespectful? He's still a child, and I would have knocked every single one of you out if you didn't jump in that water and to go save him. So then next thing you know, now she's taking up for Loki, right? And Loki then disrespects her and calls her a gold digger. You just want my dad for his money anyway. Now, I don't know if Loki knows, but I'm pretty sure he probably does at this point. Ida could have had Harold if she wanted to. I mean, she did, of course, and she gave him Harrigan, of course. She birthed Harrigan for him. He's the firstborn. But Harold originally was going to marry her. But the elders of Elbath and, the political scene, the elders' voice still hold a lot of weight to him. And they said, no, you need to marry someone who has the blood of the ancients. Ida is a giant, but her blood is thinned out. You know what I'm saying? She's mixed with whatever. She doesn't have the pure bloodline in her veins. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he had to marry Loki's mother. But if it wasn't for that stupid rule, he would have been, caked up with her. So Loki disrespects Ida. And she's like, oh, is that cute? She's really dismissing it. But then you have Harrigan, but not just Harrigan, but King Harold as a father is telling Loki to stop it, and he needs to apologize for speaking to Ida that way. So it then switches here, and we see the Rock's pirates. Okay? And we see a whole bunch of different pirates. We see this other pirate here. He looks like he's from the land of Wano, Silver Axe. And it makes sense, for him to be rivals with the Gold Lion. That's not surprising. It looks like both of them are from Wano based on their geese and stuff like that. And we see a whole lot of different. We see this catfish pirate. He's a fishman pirate, but he's a catfish man. And we see Rock say, hey, look here, man. All right, here's the game plan. I'm looking for 2 different devil fruits. One of them is most likely on Elbath, and the true power of that fruit will not be shown unless King Harold himself eats it. So, of course, he then talks about the Galila giants that are frozen, and he was saying, that's why we need King Harold. And so, but the catfish guy was like, yeah, but just because you awaken them, that doesn't mean that they're going to listen to you. And Rock says yet again, yes, that's why we need King Harold. We need the power of Elbath to crush Mary Joa. So then we have young Kaido in his prime, and he says, why not? We can crush the Mary Joa by ourselves, and we can crush King Harold and make him do what we want to do. After that, he says that Rocks put foot in Kaido's face. And he says, shut up, Kaido. King Harold is my pal. Don't you ever say no nonsense like that again. If you do, I'll crush you myself. And so then Rocks make a declaration to all the other pirates there. He said, listen, either you stick with me or you can beat it. You can kick rocks. He said, you can either stick with me or you can beat it. If you want to see my plan come to fruition, stay on board. If not, follow me to the ends of the world. And guys, I am here for the long ride. As much time as the good Lord give me, I am here for the long ride. One Piece, chapter 1156, guys. So guys, comment down below. Tell me if you like my reaction of this chapter here. Tell me if I missed anything. Comment down below. Communicate with me here. Like the video, share this video with your friends, and subscribe. 5,000 subscribers. Hooray!